How you doing, Ross? You hear me, mate?
Is it, mate?
Can you hear me, buddy?
I don't know if you can hear me, mate. No.
Can hear you, mate. Can you hear me?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, off you go.
Oh, right then. How are you?
All right, don't know if you can see, I'm just having a little Guinness.
Yeah. Well,
Oh,
what can we
yeah.
say? Somebody emailed me and said to me, and I don't normally reply to emails, but they said, if I know that much about boxing, why don't I point a few things out that would be beneficial? So I said to myself this morning, I'm going to do that. So here's a couple of things, right? All tickets for all shows are tenner, right? A tenner just to get fans back. 50-50 fights with a quality control person overseeing it from the board, and I mean overseeing it properly. None of this knockover stuff. If they're not sure what level somebody's at, get them sparring somebody or go watch them. No rematch clauses for mandatories. That's compulsory. None at all. Not even if it's a unified, and there's a mandatory involved. No rematch clause. Not lying in the media from boxing laminate holders. Automatic 50 quid bullseye fine. After 10 fights, they need to be going for an area 15 in English, 20 Commonwealth, 25 British, 30 European, 35 world. If the careers are managed correctly, they should look to do 45 fights. It's all about learning levels, and a lot of our lot, I don't know if you agree with this, they're falling at when they're stepping up because they're not ready. They're like got houses built on swamps. In an ideal world, the drug testing, one positive and you're done. Because nobody ever admits it anyway, do they? Nobody comes out and goes, yeah, I'm guilty. It's like rapists. Nobody ever comes out and admits a rape, do they? They're always the same as murder, they're all innocent. Pensions for boxers, after courses for after boxing for boxers, pay-per-view only for world unifications, refs to answer, judges, refs to answer, and judges to media after fights. What do you think?
Yeah, there's a lot of good ideas in there, mate, but unfortunately, there's a lot of them as well that just aren't enforceable. They're just not enforceable because of laws are economic. You just can't do it. Somebody will come along and offer a different model, and if it means people getting paid more than what some of your suggestions would offer, they're just going to switch. So I think there's a lot of good ideas in there. The one I would go for. I mentioned it before on your channel.
What was
Is what
that?
I would do. What I would do is I would ensure that for all fights, but definitely for all world title fights, on the day they signed the contract, they would have to have a public weigh-in. That's what I would do.
Would you?
I would, yeah, because it does away with a lot of this. Oh, I had a great camp and I didn't have much to take off, and I'm always walking around just above fighting weight, or other way around. I got too much to lose or whatever, and I took it off too fast. I think
Well, you
if they get
let that
weighed,
P.P. Smith carry on. That would have been fast, wasn't it?
yeah,
I
and I
mean,
think
when he
that's when I said
actually
it
sent
after
it
that.
full, what?
I think I said it after that. It might have been just before or just after. I can't remember, but it
When he
was
shot
around
his
that
sent
time.
it full, is, in my opinion, he started telling everybody how he struggled all the way through, didn't he, from day one and all that?
Yeah, it's not the right mentality to go out. It was a cash and grab fight. It was just a grab, money grab, that, weren't it? It just, it was there on the table. He could not refuse it. But I would do. I'd make it mandatory that on the day they signed the contract, they'd have to have a public weigh-in on calibrated scales, and everybody would be made aware what they weighed on the day they signed the contract. And then there's no getting away from it. Then everybody knows where they are. And also, again, I think I said this, when people are betting on fighters as well, they'd have a better understanding of where starting point is. Some. I mean, I'm not very good at betting anyway, as you know, but at least you'd know, that some of the BS that they come out with at the beginning, is BS, and you might change your mind about whether you put your money on somebody or not.
Yeah, I see where you're coming from.
It's like
That with
handicapping horses.
yeah, you what?
It's like handicapping horses.
Yeah,
Same thing.
That with Liam Smith, in my opinion, were bad. He was Rich, it were bad. You think?
Yeah, it was. That was bad. I was also quite. I don't know why. I'm not like a massive fan of Eubanks. I don't dislike him. I'm not a massive fan
What
of
you
his.
like, Rich?
But no, I'm in between. I'm not. I don't dislike him. I don't particularly like him. But I was quite pleased that he won. I'm quite pleased he came back and did it in that style. And it was. I weren't cheering for any fighter, but I was quite pleased when he won and he did it. And then he started. Beefy Smith started to cry about what a bad camp it was and they were right and blah blah blah. Again, he weren't saying that. This is back to the betting. He weren't saying that during the press conference when it first kicked off. So people might have bundled some money on him.
Yeah, they're going to feel cheated, aren't they?
Mm.
All his bravado, all the way up to it, leading up to it, knowing that it was a dead man walking.
He's not first one, Russ, is he?
Darren Barker in Germany.
David A. David A. versus Tony Bellew.
Yeah.
The list goes on, my friend.
Nicky Cook against Ricky Burns for WBO.
Ricky Hatton versus Manny. Not that it made any difference. Ricky Hatton versus Manny Pacquiao.
Bellew against Adonis Stevenson.
Stevens. Yeah, you're right. The list goes on, doesn't it? Dillian White versus Joshua at first fight with shoulder.
Jamie McDonnell against I Know You.
All right, you win.
What about that? 10 fights and then you've got to be fighting for an area.
Yeah, I like it. I think it might be a bit difficult. It might be a bit difficult in heavier weights where there's more fighters to be in a position, because you might have like 8 fighters that have all won 10 fights. So again, practicalities of that, whether they could like have eliminators for
Well,
it,
and box off
which
for it. Yeah, these are prestigious
yeah,
belts. We need to get them all back in line. Area, English, Commonwealth, British. Get them all back in line. Them at least them 4. Forget the European and world. Let's get them 4 on map and let's start trying to win one outright. So they get all
yeah,
this.
you'll not get me Sorry, mate. You'll not get me disagreeing on that. I'm like you. I'm exactly the same. I would wouldn't you give your right, well, not right arm, but wouldn't you give almost anything just to have an area belt? You would, wouldn't you? Something you can be proud of. What about a Lonsdale belt?
Listen, Steppy Bull and Dave Caldwell have got area belts, so they should be proud of them.
It should be. Absolutely, 100% they should be. You were saying the other day when you were talking to that, sorry, I can't remember his name, this lad from Scotland, when you were talking about, Jesus, my mate who won the British title, Sheffield United and Birmingham footballer.
McCracken.
No, the boxer, footballer turned boxer.
Kurt.
Yeah, Curtis, yeah. Um, you know, he should be absolutely bang proud of that. Absolutely bang proud. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Because
of course, man. All right, Kurt, he comes to see me for a cup of tea. He's bang on. He's got a British title. He played for England under 21s and he were involved in a £1 million transfer and played in Premier League. But it's the stuff that's made. Dreams are made up for little boys, isn't it? That.
oh, just well, it is. It is playing professional football and winning a Lonsdale belt. For me, apart from money side, winning the Lonsdale belt takes it for me. Money side's a bit different, but
How come he's not on
yeah.
Sky? We've got people on Sky giving opinions on football who've never played it, and people giving opinions on boxing who've never boxed. How come Curtis Woodhouse is not on Sky or Talksport regular?
Good question. It's probably because he's not very. I don't know. It's probably because he's a Yorkshire guy who's got a Yorkshire accent. He wasn't originally from Yorkshire, was he?
Humberside, isn't he? At Driffield.
Humberside, isn't it? Yeah. Well, yeah. So I don't know which part of Humberside it was because it got split, didn't it, at one point? But he's got that northern accent. He's a little bit sort of blunt and straightforward. And we've talked about this maybe 3 years ago. I always liked the fact when he turned up to that troll's house.
Yeah.
You know, that's pretty cool for me. But yeah, it's something to be proud of. So getting back to your point, sorry. So getting back to your point, you won't have any argument from me about Central Area English British Commonwealth. I know that's what we got brought up on, isn't it? Sports night.
Going back to the media thing, why is Frotch and Hall of Famer Joe G, Ring Magazine Trainer at Year, only one? Why are they not in pundit jobs? And we have other people in pundit jobs who are less qualified.
Well, I think you know what I'm going to say before I say it. It's all about who you know. In life, it's about who you know. Majority of the time, some people can be mavericks and they can make it, and they've just got something about them, and they don't need other people to help them along. But most of the time, that's not true, and a lot of the time, it's who you know. I mean, even in business, relationships are everything, aren't they? You know that with some of the people you know, it's all relationships.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's not based on whether you can provide a better service than your competitor. Sometimes if you're providing the same service as your competitor, but you're the mate and you've got a good relationship with them, you'll get the job. Often, I'm not saying that's all the time, but more often than not. And it's same in the punditry game. It's whose face fits. How many people do you know growing up who were all right at football and could have made it to like I don't know the old fourth or third division, but they never got there because the face didn't fit. And somebody who wasn't as good, and they just towed the line, and the face fitted. They made it to that sort of level. I'm not saying that your championship and your premiership, but back in the day, the old fourth and third division, I know plenty of lads that the difference between making it and not making it was just whether the face fitted.
Yeah, it's madness. What do you think to me? One test life ban policy.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, you agree with it?
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. I think that it's a bit of a cliche, but at the end of the day, it's a hurt business, and it can make all the difference. And we're getting back to what we said last night about Conor Ben and the difference the magic sauce made before and after, and there's no getting away from it. It makes you stronger, it makes you more powerful, it makes you recover quicker, it makes you more aggressive, all of those things, and it gives you a distinct advantage. And when the idea of winning is either to stop somebody or knock them out, that's an awful advantage to have. So yeah, I think the problem is with that concept is that they've always got alternatives, and there's so many alternatives now, either to go and get a license from a different country, to go with a different organisation, to fight for no belts. You know that'd come up. You imagine just it's a hypothetical situation, but you just imagine now Usyk and Fury tomorrow. Headlines are both being tested positive for steroids. Do you think that they won't be fighting?
We won't get to know, would we, if they had?
No, but what I mean, it's only hypothetical, Russ. But what I mean is, if they both got caught, do you think people still wouldn't want to tune in and see them fight just to see who the best were? They would,
Well,
and somebody put money up for it.
well, they've all been done, haven't they? Roy Jones, Holyfield, Mike Tyson admitted in his book, taking all sorts, and he used to piss into some fake willy or something. The list is endless, isn't there? Vitaly Klitschko got done, didn't he, as an amateur? You know,
Right.
it's disease, isn't it, in the sport? Dylan White and what they're saying he's gearing up for Saudi soon. Dylan White and that what's that other one, Miller? How are they even near the sport? It's just become a farcical laugh, isn't it?
I talked to Julian about this last year. I think just by text, I think, and it was when I did that top 10 heavyweights, my personal top 10 heavyweights of all time. But just after that, and we got talking about it. Now I've got a bit of a love hate thing with the Vander Holyfield. I just think he was special, but I also think he had the special sauce. Like you say, it was proven about him, but you knew at the time. It's only because there weren't all this social media and people weren't being tested. You could tell that cruiserweight, as an heavyweight, being trained by 6 times Mr. Olympia, 7 times Mr. Olympia, Lee Haney, that something was going on.
No, with
But
Holyfield.
yeah,
Oh yeah, he looked like well, it was
well,
Lee Haney that were training him, wasn't it? Lee Haney.
that's right, Lee Haney.
Oh yeah,
And,
did you
and
know
when I
about
say,
that? I read about it in Ring Magazine, yeah.
yeah,
Lee
he's they're from same place. They're both from Atlanta,
in fact
and you know,
he looked bigger than Lee Haney, didn't he?
unbelievable, unbelievable. And you look at him as a cruiserweight, but I've got like this sort of, well, I know he was a special bloke. He was a warrior. He got a chin like granite and stuff like that. But you know, when you look at it in its, if you're going to be pure about it and you're going to be objective, sorry, not subjective, and you're being honest about it, you say, hold on, is he as good as we all think he was? Because it is what it is. You look at him as a cruiserweight, and I could mention other people as well, but there's no proof about them. But their body transformation is unnatural. But we'll not go into that. That's for a conversation over a pint of this one night.
Okay. Pay-per-view. Big Ron always used to say that pay-per-view should be for those fights where you say you can't miss it. Do you think them days are gone now and that anything's pay-per-view?
Yeah, more or less. I think that misfits and YouTubers and everybody's trying to get on bandwagon. Some of the stuff on YouTube I don't even bother with, but I am aware of because you see the clickbait and stuff like that. But some people who I've never even heard of are talking about pay-per-view and let's make money on this fight. And I don't know whether they're talking about 5 pence, 5 grand, or 500 grand, but people are that eager for
Do you
some
think?
sort of instant entertainment that they'll click on anything. It could be OnlyFans, it could be an Amazon movie, it could be anything, whether it's 50p, a pound, 1.99. You get enough people clicking on it. There's 9 billion people in the world. So you don't have to get many people tuning on the internet just think, oh, I'll click on that for a quid. You know what I mean? You could run up a lot of subscribers in a minute. Mad.
Yeah. Do you think the answer for pay-per-view is just to do it for unifications only?
Be nice, but I think, like I said, saying before, you won't be able to enforce that criteria because
Because they've been
somebody
spoiled,
else.
haven't they? They've been spoiled,
Yeah,
haven't they?
times have changed, mate, and unfortunately, we've got to live with it. And there's an avenue for everybody. If Misfits are getting pay per view and YouTubers are getting pay per view, and do you know some of the richest people or the biggest earning people in the last 2 or 3 years are people with OnlyFans pages. OnlyFans.
Yeah, no, it's
It's
madness.
madness. It's madness. But unfortunately, I don't think anybody would tune in or pay to see you and me on OnlyFans.
Yeah. Did we chat
Well, maybe
about? Go
maybe
on.
me. I said maybe me, but I'm not sure about you.
Ah. Uh, Big Malk is dragging out his intense beef with Johnny Horsecock Nelson over Johnny's comments about various people in media uh, saying what they've got to say to court favours. Johnny's been quite outspoken now for about 4 months about a lot of things. You think he's just got weighed down with that company man thing?
I saw him having a go at him about Anthony Joshua and saying he was an hater and all that sort of stuff. And to be
Eduardo.
fair, yeah, to be fair, I came down on the side of Johnny Nelson. I think Malk was sort of like a little bit harsh, and he was trying to get his profile raised. If you compare
Malk jumps in on
profiles,
every trending story, Malk, doesn't he?
yeah. So, if you compare his profile to Johnny Nelson's as regards followers, TV time, career achievements, there's no comparison, is there? He's on the fringes, isn't he? Where Nelson isn't. And as
Johnny's
much as
just
you can
waiting for
criticise,
Hall of Fame, isn't
yeah, as much as you could, as much as if you wanted to, you could. If you wanted to, you could focus on Johnny Nelson's Carlos De Leon fight and his way up and all that sort of thing. If you wanted to, but now he's hung his gloves off. He's an ex-world champion where I don't know, wait, 9 defenses, 11. You tell me.
he? 13 defences. What he
Oh
won it, and then he
Jesus,
had defences.
yeah. So 13 defenses. Um, and he's got he's been recognised in honours list and stuff like that. So he's had a long career at Sky, being paid a lot of money. So when he's looking at his career, and other people are looking at theirs, could be including me, could be including you, could be including anybody. We haven't got a lot to criticise, have we? Because he's achieved a lot.
Yeah, in fact, I'm not even going to call him Big Malk anymore. I'm just going to call him Malk.
And at the end of the day, Johnny Nelson, according to you, has got a massive, massive bank account. So it's
Yeah,
uh, it's all good for him, isn't it?
there's enough to go around. Well, there isn't there? You know that green chair AD? He seems to have
No, I don't
got,
know him.
that AD Alapido? Him who works on DAZN.
Oh yeah, 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 yeah,
He's got a YouTube channel where he sits in a green ripped Chesterfield, doesn't he? So we call
yeah.
him Green Chair AD. Well, that green chair AD, he seems to be a bit more outspoken lately. But once he gets in with big interviews like Big Meech and Eddie Hills, I think his arsehole starts flapping.
Yeah, but how many times we say it? That's because they get to a certain level, and I mean, I'll get a question to you, and I think I know the answer already. Just bear with me 1 sec, mate. Well, sorry about this. Just 1 sec. Been a long day today,
Oh
so I'm
yeah,
just about to break my second can of Guinness open.
Richard, mate, go on,
Yeah,
mate.
so I'll put the
On
question
that
to you.
picture.
I think I know answer, but if all of a sudden somebody with a really high profile, like a Tyson Fury, or and I know you've spoken to Peter and everybody else and a lot of other people, but somebody with a really high profile wanted to speak to you, would you change at all?
Yeah, if I didn't like them. Oh, would I change? Yeah, would I? Yeah, I'd still be the same person, but it don't bother me anyway. I do know people who've got high profiles, and I know people who haven't got any profile. That all that don't mean no to me, but I see where you're coming from. But I'm just myself, aren't I? You know what I'm like.
Yeah, I'm not. I say, like I say, I think I know answer, but what I'm saying, it must be. I feel like I'm sort of defending him. I'm not. I think that you should be able to ask anybody a question and expect a decent answer. And I also think that you should be able to have an opinion and it be respected, even if you don't agree with it. You know, it's crap. We talked on this in part one, but I think it's crap when you get frozen out just because you've got something that you don't agree with and you say it publicly, and it seems as though you're hating.
Yeah, yeah, I agree. I agree. Uh, Juggiers is going for Catro to beat Taylor because they're fighting at 140. Do you think that's going to make a difference?
Um, I was trying to find odds on Odds Checker. Could only find they weren't offering any odds when I looked yesterday, which I found weird. I couldn't make my mind up who to go for on that fight because. So to answer your question, I do think it'll make a difference. Yeah, I do think it'll make a difference. I think Taylor struggles now more than Cattrall. I think, but I
What do you think?
also think, but I also think that since their fight, they've both deteriorated. So it just makes it really interesting.
Yeah. What do you
Who
think
would
to
you go for?
in what? Oh, Cattrall, I think now. I thought about it. Cattrall.
Yeah, well, we might have to both put money on Taylor because I'm going to go for Cattrall as well.
Oh, yeah. Advanced us, aren't we? We are bets. Pool F and Char. WBA 30th of March. WBA regular. Can you imagine if they got it mixed at Saudi? What would that say? I mean, I can't, can't they just jog on then? Why do they keep hanging around like bad fucking smells?
No, I've never been a massive fan of Charles. I
Oh,
do have a lot of time. I don't mind Paul F. He is what he is. He is what he is. But one of those guys who what wasn't quite at the elite. But I think I have got a lot of respect for his toughness, and I don't want to see him fighting at his age. But if I had to choose between those two for a winner, I think I'd go for Paul F. But I don't want to see him around. No, I don't want to. You know what I'm like, Russ. I don't want to see anybody around past the prime. It's a tough sport. I hate it.
yeah, yeah. So, do you think that this Saudi money is going to last, Rich?
Yeah. Sorry. The Saudi money won't run out. However, I don't know how long they'll want to invest in it. But the Saudi money's not going anywhere, so I don't exactly know what you mean. Do you think they'll still want to invest in 5 years? I don't know, Russ.
Yeah, you
But
don't know.
is the money going to run out? Not a chance. So as
Yeah.
long as they want to invest, the money will be there. These people are just wealthier than some countries, mate. Individuals are wealthier than countries. That some countries, that's unbelievable, isn't it?
Do you think that old pop pop bang not on scene in Saudi? Do you think that they're not taking any chances, or do you think he were warned?
I don't know. I mean, it's a sort of country where they don't want to see behaviour that isn't in line with their beliefs. So I suppose it's whether you've got to whether you say did pop pop bang behave in a way that was contrary to their beliefs. I don't know. I don't think I can't remember. Did he swear in Saudi? I can't remember.
Yeah, I think he did. Yeah.
Well, they probably won't be going for that, will they? Probably won't want to go for that. Even swearing, even mild swearing, it's not in line with their beliefs, or at least what they profess to believe. So whichever way. So if he's going to do like things like that, and he's going to be a little bit volatile and unpredictable, they might be discouraging his presence. I don't know, but how he behaved, at best, it's cringy, isn't it? At worst, it's embarrassing. If you're his kid, if you're his son, it's not great, but he is what he is. He's not going to change now, is he?
Well, what about Canelo then leaving PBC?
Yeah, well, he's one of these guys who knows that he doesn't need anybody else to generate money.
Yeah.
That's why I was surprised that Anthony Joshua 2 or 3 years ago didn't go. I was really surprised that Eddie Hearn was able to tie him down to a lifetime deal. And I know that he took less money to do it. I think he was talking about smaller percentages at the time. But I was surprised that Joshua didn't do the same thing. Because at the time, he was just before his defeat to Usyk, if you remember,
Yeah.
when they signed the contract. So it's no surprise to me because Canelo's going to be one of these guys now where he thinks, well, I don't need anybody else. He'd already dipped his toe in the water, having different promoters for different fights, didn't he? Went with Earn for a few, went back to PBC. So I think he can just be like a gun for hire, mate, and maximise his revenue for the next 2 or 3 years. Because he's on his way out, isn't he? He's not going to last forever.
Yeah. Yeah. All right then, mate. Well, listen, thanks for coming on. Been a pleasure. Hope you're
You're
well.
welcome, mate. Good to
What
talk to you.
what you got planned now?
I'm going to finish this, and then I'm going to meet my mate for dinner, and then have an early night. So I'm off. I think I told you yesterday. I'm off to Marbella on Saturday for a week. So I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah. All right then. Well, listen, you take care.
Oh, and I've spotted something I want to buy as well. So I'll drop you a text when I see you. Oh,
All
sorry,
right.
sometime over the next 2 days.
All right then, mate. Cheers, pal.
Cheers, mate. Look after yourself.
Bye. Bye.
See you, mate. Bye bye.
Thanks. Thanks for liking and subscribing and leaving a comment. Peace out. Cheers, Rich.